evening. Louis C. Gross, the second educational consultant for Manhood Shelter Incorporated. By the way, this is us. Get it over here. Manhood Shelter, as you can see, as always, this is who you should call when things are not going right. Now, thought you lost me, but you didn't. Here we go. What's your weather report today? And when I say weather report, I'm talking about how's your day going? Is it sunny? Is it cloudy? Is it stormy? How's it going? And how you reacted to it? Alfred Adler said something once, a noted psychologist. He said, a child should learn self-reliance and courage from his father, and generosity and a feeling for others from his mother. Once again, a child should learn self-reliance and courage from his father, and generosity and a feeling for others from his mother. That's what Alfred Adler says. What do you think about that? Well, one thing we know, a lot of fathers are not in the home. So where's that child going to get, the manhood from? A mother can only do so much. And then at one point in time, you have some women that raise their children, but it's always, you need a man involved with that situation. It took two to tango, it takes two to raise a child. As a result, what we're dealing with now is displacement. Displacement in the sense that the male child or the female child doesn't have both entities involved in their lives. As a result, there is a reaction to that situation. Listen, folks, I don't know about you, but I know about me. And what I see every day is very demoralizing. You got people out there begging in our community that could be working, who've given up. And as a result of that, the backlash to that is that your children are in the street doing what they want to do. A lot of our kids, as you well know. We've had over 3,000 shootings and about 300 murders. It's horrendous. And then we have the powers that be that really don't care. We're going to get to that. But one thing I want you to know is this. Focus on the hard times ahead with thoughts of those who came before you. Focus on the mission ahead with thoughts of your role as a leader in the community. Your role as a leader in the community. Are you doing that? Focus on the obligations of your family with the thoughts of their needs first, personal needs last. Family first, personal needs last. Focus on the future of your people with thoughts of your course of actions to make their dreams come true by any means necessary. Now, Malcolm X got that from Machiavelli, who wrote The Prince. And he said, by any means necessary in terms of your objective. And as you see, politicians adhere to this all the time. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Alderman Beal. Thank you very much for what you've done in terms of from 95th Street to 87th Street. You've paved that roadway, and people are really happy about it. And then the adjoining neighborhood, you're fixing those streets, and thank you very much for that. Now that's one Alderman I can say that's doing what he's supposed to do so far. But if you have a complaint, you can call it in, and let's give him a blast. Because look at it, if you're making $117,000 a year, and you're a representative in that ward for your people, then you know what? You have an obligation to listen to what your constituency has to say, rather than putting it on somebody else to handle the phone for you. You're getting paid. Do your job. Now, oh yes, next week we're going to have Mr. Green from the VA, a representative, shall talk about vets benefits. Do you know they cut back on food stamps for the vets? Do you know in Illinois it's been one of the worst places for a vet for a long time? I've talked about this ever since I've had shows. Just like I talked about the police department with 13,500 people at one time, or personnel at one time, now it's down to 12,444. And now he's talking about, like I said, we're 500 short. Now, well, of course you heard that speech yesterday, right? Wow. What did he really say? You know. Anyway, we'll get back to him. Don't forget Mr. Green next week from the vets. There are 3 books I strongly recommend. One of them, Should Television Be the Primary Educator of Our Youth? Once again, by Niana Kilkenny. Should television be the primary educator of our youth? Do you know that our children spend 19,000 hours of television time by the time they're 19 years of age? They spend 19,000 hours of television time watching TV by the time they hit 19 years of age. 19,000 hours. What do they learn? Scooby-Doo? Huh? SquarePants Bob? You know, come on, man. And you letting them do it. Number 2, The 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television by Gerrymander. The 4 Arguments for the Elimination of Television by Gerrymander. You know, at one time, TV used to really adhere to not dealing with violence. Now everything goes. Everything goes. All bets off. It used to always be stringent about that. Now they'll show and do anything at any time. And your kids watching it. And for one reason or another, you let them watch it. And the 3rd one, The Disappearance of Childhood by Neil Postman. Now, 4 problems. TV dulls the senses, causes physical damage, you ask how, figure it out. Promotes commercialism, causes information loss. They're so busy watching I Want a Gangster Woman and all this, that they miss the information that was, given to be disseminated in terms of a learning process. And it doesn't require intellect. Intellect. That's something that's interesting. The average IQ quotient is a 100. Anything over that, like 150, you're missing. You're highly intelligent. But as we see, a lot of times you might have what we call rote memory. You know something for a quick second, then you lose it. You lose the thought and you lose the train. Look at our kids out here in the street. Look at all these murders. And that comes from, it's by design in a way. If you go on Roosevelt Road, University of Illinois at Chicago owns all that property, all that area. And they diversify, they're doing what they want to do. And what happens? The people that lived there originally, they've been displaced. They moved elsewhere. Look at IIT in 35th Street. Man, look at it. It used to be projects from 22nd Street all the way down to 55th. No more. We have the condos. We have gourmet food. We have everything but the black man. He's been displaced. He's moved on. Now let's go to the University of Illinois. That's Chicago. I'm sorry. Illinois University of Chicago. All 63rd Street. No more. They, modified it, changed it. It's like the person of color never even existed. And you know what? We let them do it. And all this has been by design. I have a caller. Go ahead. Question of concern, caller. Go ahead. What's your comment?
Hey, Louis. How you doing, man?
Hey.
This is Joe.
Hey, Joe.
You know what? I'm going to say some things, and some people may disagree with me, but guess what? That's all right, okay? Now, I'm a visually impaired person, right?
Yes.
Now, when I was going to see about them other programs that's supposed to help get visually impaired people help, guess what? The state cut those programs out or downsizes, all right? Now, when I started getting those programs, I ain't no drug addict, where they help people with chemical dependency and all that to get help, or people have other type of social problems. Guess what? I get hired.
Oh, really? Because you had a...
And I seen... Let me finish.
Go ahead.
I seen they pick these people up, and they go with them and help them fill out the applications, take them there, bring them back, feed them, do everything under the sun, and some of the folks don't want to work. They give more excuses than a virgin would give on their wedding night. Now, I asked myself this question. They talk about all the different types of social problems there is, and they throw money at the problem.
Right.
And it seemed to be no good. Now, looking at what the mayor was talking about last night,
Yeah, what do you think about that?
trying to help people, it seems like if you got a problem, they're going to come up with some type of program that help you. And in terms of you, what's happening now, what he was talking about, okay, we got to have a program for parents that don't know how to parent. Now, you don't know how to do certain things, guess what? We're going to have a program for you. And when you look around, money's being thrown around all kinds of ways because why? And you're talking about intelligence, right?
Yeah.
People won't use the God sense amount of intelligence they have in order to sit back and figure out what they need to do. Now, some things, you're talking about you got to have a mentor. Some things, guess what? You just got to figure it out.
You're right, Joe. And you know what? It goes to like Atlas said, self-reliance.
Right. And just like I said, when I was going to the other program, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. That's supposed to help people different types of problems. But guess what? When I started going around with a drug addicts, the program for them, guess what? I get hired.
You know something? But that's what they're saying is they want you to be dependent. Therefore, you can be led. You're right. You're right, Joe. And thank you for your comment. Thank you. Listen, folks. Chicago, the American dream, turned upside down due to concealment and exploitation. Concealment in the sense that we got TIF funds for over $1.7 billion that we haven't seen that should be used for our neighborhoods. But that money is diverted. We have real estate ventures happening, and everything is going downtown, but not in our town. See, it's two different towns here. It's like the Tale of Two Cities by Dickens. It's a paradox. There were good times and bad times. The good times is up north. The bad times, the west side and the south side. And now, since, it's become public to the sense that it's nationwide, we get a man that goes on TV and he's going to do all this and do that. And, for years he's known what's going on, but now he's between a rock and a hard place. And to get up and give a speech and start crying, we need men to deal with leadership. Here you go. I'm supposed to help you. You're crying and I'm crying. Who's gonna help who? Huh? There's a word called empathy. You can understand a situation, but lay back and deal with it in a professional way. Everything's geared towards votes. Everything's geared towards you staying in office. But the one thing you're not dealing with is the misery that's out here. Here's a person that lives in a $1 million condo, and here's some people on Section 8 wondering how to get a place to live. Look at the disparity there. But yet and still, our people are doing this. You're walking around like you don't see what's going on. I look at the city council. Take off the blinders. Deal with a parallel view. Think outside the box. You always need somebody to tell you what to do, so if you gravel for some cheese. What's up? Well, you know what? It's a shame. It truly is. Like I said, Chicago, the American dream, turned upside down due to concealment and due to exploitation. You exploit in terms of fear. I want to keep my job, so I do this, I do that. Pretty soon, who are you? You get into an identity crisis. You don't know which way is up. Between a rock and a hard place. And we need to get together. But I keep saying that. But you know what? That's not happening. I am an advocate for our children, an activist for this community. But I'll be damned because look, every time I look around, everybody's turning back running because they're scared that, well, they might say this, they might say that. Look at yourself in the mirror. There are only 3 sights. There's foresight. What's your vision? You got one? There's insight, intestinal fortitude. You got any guts? And there's hindsight. Well, let me think about what I've done all day. What's the thing about? You haven't done nothing. Nothing. But for anybody but yourself. And then you know what? You're miserable. And let me tell you something. When they start traveling on your right or on somebody else's rights, They come into yours too. Like I think it was Marcus Garvey said, beware of the individual that comes to your community to assist you. It's called a diversionary tactic. There's another agenda, and you should be able to see that by now. Look at the people in our community that other communities won't even let in nowhere near the corner of their house or their block. But we deal with it because you know why? We're the last one on the totem pole now. Am I lying? Look around you. Look around you. Once again, Alfred Adler states, a child should learn self-reliance from his father and generosity and a feeling for others from his mother. Where's the daddy at? Huh? Where's the daddy? That's another thing. You walk around this town, especially on the south side, west side, and here's people begging. I mean, begging, like, in the middle of the street. We know you're getting a check from somewhere. You're not just living around off the fruit of the land. That played out a long time ago. So your hands out on one end, but your hands out on another, and we're depending on a one-check pony. And that puts you in a position to do what? To be led. Let me tell you something. Let me give you a little story. In India, they take an elephant, put a chain around his neck, and beat him down. Beat him down. Then one day they take the chain off, the steel chain off, and put a rope there. In that elephant's mind, it's still a steel chain. Saying, hey, just like with you. Although they've taken the shackles off your head and your arms, you still got an imaginary shackle there. It's like what my man said. Tell them that they don't have to go to the end of the back of the bus. They'll go there anyway because they've been conditioned to do that. And they'll do just exactly what they think they're supposed to do. What a shame. Caller, question or comment? You on there? Go ahead. Caller? Question or comment? You on there? Go ahead.
Yes, hello.
Hey.
How you doing, my friend?
How you feeling?
I call most every week. And you know what? You're right. We got some glasses on, and guess when we have them on? every 4 weeks, every 4 years, right?
Yep.
Vote. Because we ain't voting for the right people.
Man.
For a mayor in,
I don't know.
that doesn't give blacks or Hispanics a chance for construction site. And yet, 60% of our people, guess what they do? They voted for
Right. And thank you for reminding me about voting, right. They won't vote. But one thing I say about Hispanics, man, they get out and go to work, they take care of their kids, they take care of their family, they do what they're supposed to do. And you don't see them out there begging. They be working. And but I look at us, and it's like we past giving up.
You're right. You know why? And I'm going to tell you why.
Go ahead.
Because the last 2 big multi-million-dollar projects going to go on downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Not one African-American and not one Hispanic construction company got a piece of that.
Got a piece of that action?
So they talk about us being in the streets, but we don't have any jobs. Where are they going to put us if we got no jobs? Huh? Give us a piece of that, and we take care of our own.
Right.
Yeah, as long as you got a steady job, your family and everybody else will be all right. But you don't give us a job, then you wonder what people are.
And I think that's where they want us to be.
To the fight.
Okay, Ray, thank you. Thank you very much. I got another caller. Thanks, Ray. Caller, you on there? Go ahead. Question or comment? You on there?
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. You on there?
Hey, Louis.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Steve. How you doing?
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
All right, Louis, you know what? I've been listening to you. 2 important things that the conversations I heard about you, especially the first one, from 55th to 22nd Street. Like you say, all the projects are gone.
Yes.
Where are all of those people at? That's number one.
Right, displacement.
Number 2 is,
You was saying people that lives in $1 million condo, and a person who has Section 8 and what's that other one, cost of living or something like that, income, that they are able to live decently with a roof over their head. Now the difference is, I want you to think, the million dollar condo is going to be handed down probably to a family member.
That's right.
The person that has the Section 8 or the other programs, it's just handed down over continuously. The mother, the daughter, the son, the niece, and then when they grow up, it's a continuous cycle of getting something for nothing. And the most sad thing about it, you can live cheaply and just pay $100, $200 out of your pocket to keep a roof over your head, and they don't even want to do that. They don't even want to pay the rent,
right.
And then they lose it. But like they say, it's always a way to get around it and get another one, and then move into some
That's so true.
Places, and we go through a lot of little things. But the thing is this, is what a person really want in life. I always believe this. Everybody can't have $1 million, but you could have almost $1 million physically and mentally and live peacefully and good. But people do not want to live right. I got to a point, I think people just always looking for something for nothing.
Right.
Lois, you know, I wait every Friday to hear you. I think you have one of the best shows. You're a hell of a good motivator, and I really appreciate what you be saying to us. And listen, you remember I told you before, just keep on going to that doctor. That doctor is one of the greatest things.
I'll see you next week.
Beat this, because see, you gave us back many things, so he's going to give you many other problems that you would need. Let me get out there so I can hear your response, Louis.
Thank you so much, Steve. He really makes you feel good. But okay, caller, on air, make it quick. Go ahead, you're on air, go ahead.
I want to ask you this question. A lot of people talking about vote Rahm Emanuel out of office, but who are we going to replace him? Do we got some type of plan? Who we going to try to get in office? I hear people all angry and they're mad, but unless you got some type of plan, you talking about voting him out of office, who the heck we going to get to replace him?
You know who could have beat him if she had ran? Tony Preckwinkle. But you know, she's the president of the board. Which, if you look at it, the board is...
I think she's going to run for governor.
I'll vote for her because I think with Preckwinkle as the president of the board, she's powerful, more powerful than Rahm Emanuel, because she runs the county.
I ain't talking about that at all. Like I said, you going to vote him out? Who going to replace him? Take care.
All right, thank you. I got two quick things to say. You know, Kohl's clothing store are hiring 69,000 people for seasonal work. Kohl's, K-O-H-N. No, I'm sorry, K-O-H-L. Kohl's clothing store is hiring. So check it out. Now, look here. If you have a stoplight problem and you disagree with it, and they've already come up with how much you owe, they double it. It went from $35 to $100 now. Now it's every time you don't pay, it's $200. Here, go to your nearest place where you can have a hearing. Ask for a motion to set aside. Do this before October the 12th. Remember, you can go to any one of these places where they're begging for your money, taking your money, and ask for a motion to set aside the original verdict and have a hearing to do what you need to do in terms of getting the proper adjustments done in terms of paying all this ridiculous money, which red lights are under spotlight anyway. Now, as Caesar said, our Brutus, beware of Cassius, he looks lean and hungry. That's a metaphor. He's ambitious. Where's your ambition at? You need to get your ambition back. You need to get yourself back. Take these off, put these on, and let's get it right. As always, if you feel as though you run out of rope, tie a knot and hang on. Everything's going to be okay. I promise you. Good night.